And what is up, everybody? Welcome to the Michael Warbux Show, where we talk pop culture news and other things that caught my attention. Today is What the Friday, and if you do not know what the Friday is, it's where we talk about a bunch of crazy stories that happen throughout the week. Like my favorite right now, how would you like to be this police officer and then have to attend to this call? First off, how do you get a blow-up doll up there to begin with? Let's get on with the show! Our first story today, let's talk about this Texas couple. Now, on the show before, we have talked about people that tried to steal pregnancy tests, but there was this couple that stole 11 pregnancy tests. They are now currently in jail, and because this guy has prior records, he is now facing an over $400,000 bond. He had an outstanding warrant for a no-show in court. He has 3 $100,000 bonds because of drug charges, and one $100,000 bond due to an assault charge. So on top of the pregnancy, like I said, he's now over $403,000. That's crazy. Let's go across the pond and let's talk about Italy. There are 2 former porn stars that are running for mayor of Taranto. I think that's how you say it. And one of the campaign events that one of the guys wants to have is pole dancing night. Oh, did I mention that these 2 porn stars are women? And one of them goes on to say, I just want them to see the real me. If you're a porn star, everybody's seeing the real you. Now, moving on, let's talk about some old geezers. Let me rephrase that. Let me talk about some badass old geezers. This 85-year-old woman was waiting in her truck while she was waiting for her 82-year-old husband to collect their golden retrievers after letting them outside. So the husband's trying to round up the dogs, and next thing you know, out in the distance, here comes a moose. Only in Alaska. And where's Sarah Palin when you need her? Anyways, the wife tries to get out of the truck, and the husband's like, no, stay in the truck, go. The moose catches up to this dude, starts pummeling him into the ground, and then the wife gets out, grabs a shovel out of the back of the truck, and starts beating the moose. How badass is that? So she hits the moose with everything that she has. The moose decides to back off, and one of the dogs chases the moose off into the distance. The guy suffered just a 6-inch gash on his head. He's in the hospital, he's chilling and recovering, but good job, Granny. You're pretty badass in my book. Next up, what I like to call our popular segment of the show, Oh, Florida. We got a lot of stories this week. Let's talk about 64-year-old Karen Granville. She noticed outside that there was a helicopter with a searchlight, and they were looking for fugitive Roderick Willis. So next thing you know, she sees the spotlight coming a lot closer to her house, and next thing you know, it's lined up right along her fence. So what does Karen do? She goes and grabs her gun, cuts off the criminal, and she says, and I quote, "Don't you move, motherfucker, I will shoot you. I will shoot you right where you stand." Badass again. So Roderick was like, hey, I'm good. Don't shoot me. Don't shoot me. Don't shoot me. He gets down to the ground. He puts his hands on his head. And Karen's like, don't you move. What? You're moving. You're moving. Don't you move. Come on. So the cops ended up picking the dude up. It was nice to know that he didn't have this .38 caliber revolver going right through his head. Florida, that's probably the best story I've heard from you in a long time. And next up from Florida, let's talk about Lorenzo Ramirez. This dude was caught in a Walmart for taking upskirt pictures. So security cameras caught him doing this. He ran out of the Walmart after a customer was like, hey, what are you doing? They ended up getting his license plate, found out where he lived, and he was arrested. First off, why would you take pictures of people at Walmart? Have you not been on that website? There is nothing good at a Walmart. Some people just amaze me. Next up from Florida, hey, the Florida Cannibal has been arrested. I didn't know people still did this. I haven't heard anything since like Jeffrey Dahmer. Anyways, Tyree Smith was arrested and charged for this gruesome murder of a Connecticut man. Tyree murdered this guy and then decided to eat his eyeball and then part of his brain. Now, one of Tyree's cousins turned him in, and thank God this guy's off the streets. And you may or may not be one of the most feared people in the prison. I don't know. And our final Florida story, I'm not going to go into detail, but it was pretty much officers that were paid to drink on the job to keep this breathalyzer thing around. Wish I could get paid to drink, sit around on the job. That'd be awesome. Now, moving on to our last final stories of the day. Let's talk about McDonald's. I guess in Australia, it's becoming pretty frequent that McDonald's stores are getting robbed more often. So what have these McDonald's started to do? They are now spraying robbers with this synthetic invisible DNA. Once they get sprayed, it seeps into the skin and stays there for about 2 weeks, and it can stay on your clothing for up to 6 months. So you're thinking, okay, big deal, whatever. So now what police are doing, once they catch these criminals, and the criminals are like, nah, I didn't do it. I didn't do it. The police then take them under a UV light and then it shows up. The DNA is UV activated. Now, I think this is pretty smart because you know damn well these people are at home like trying to scrub this shit off like it's crazy. But if you're a robber and you get sprayed with this stuff, you shouldn't leave your house for at least 2 weeks. And please don't ever go to the club or you're going to get some weird looks with whatever on your face, if you know what I'm saying. But brilliant move, McDonald's. It's still determined on whether this is going to be coming over across the world. But if more McDonald's and more stores start doing this kind of thing, I think robberies might get cut down just a little bit. I mean, who wants sprayed with something that's going to stay on you for 2 weeks? Hell, it takes 3 days to get skunk smell off of you. What do you think? Do you feel that this is a great way to stop robbers? Or do you think this is just something that only temporarily solves a problem? Let me know. And our final story of the day. This is really more of a, I want your opinion on it kind of story. There was this mother in Georgia who allowed her 10-year-old son to get a tattoo. Now, the tattoo was a jersey number that belonged to his brother who got hit by a teen driver. So, I guess in 2010, Georgia passed this law that says, no, 10-year-olds are not allowed to get any type of ink on their body, unless it's from a physician or an osteopath. Now, the mother is being charged with cruelty and misdemeanor. Are you serious? It's not like the kid was getting something stupid. He was getting a remembrance of his brother. The mom claimed that she didn't know about the law. Now, I don't know where you live, but I know where I live, and anywhere, if you're under 18, you just have to have parents' permission. But my thing was, if the tattoo artist knew that this kid was 10, why'd he go ahead with the tattoo? Shouldn't the tattoo artist be to blame as well? Let me know. All right, guys, that's going to be today's show. Tons of questions for you to answer today. And please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. Don't forget to share it. And don't forget to put it in your favorites. And you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe. So you guys have a great weekend. And I will see you back here on Tuesday. We'll see you then, guys.